Hundreds of alien invasion movies were made in the 1950s, most of which you've probably never even heard of. You might be familiar with The War of the Worlds and The Day the Earth Stood Still, but what about the lesser-known films? Today, I'm going to dive into the wild world of 1950 cinema and uncover some of the most forgotten and obscure alien invasion movies that you won't believe ever existed. Now, let's get into it. Fantasy, sci-fi, nostalgia, Rerun Zone. I Married a Monster from Outer Space, 1958.
Bill?
This one is truly a quirky blend of sci-fi suspense and marital mystery. When Marge Farrell marries her charming fiancé Bill, she's excited about the life they'll build together. But soon after the wedding, she starts to notice something strange. Bill, once warm and thoughtful, is now acting like a different person, cold and distant, with a glazed-over look that no amount of small talk can break. Now, any couple might struggle after the honeymoon ends, but Marge suspects it's more than just marital growing pains. As she digs deeper, Marge finds out her husband, along with other men in town, have been replaced by aliens who are desperate to save their own race. These extraterrestrials take over human bodies, hoping to restart their species, but at the expense of real human connections. Marge's small-town life suddenly becomes a battlefield for humanity as she fights for her husband's true identity. The film has that 50s charm, complete with shadowy special effects and a dose of humor about the weirdness of marriage. It's a story about trust, identity, and finding out your partner may literally be from another planet. Perfect for anyone who loves classic sci-fi cinema with a twist. Invisible Invaders, 1959.
The material from which our spaceships are constructed. We have made everything on our planet invisible.
If you're looking for a sci-fi thriller that delivers classic chills with a dash of the era's signature low-budget creativity, then this may be just the film you're looking for. Directed by Edward L. Kahn, this film tells the story of aliens from the moon who decide to conquer Earth using an unexpected strategy, by taking over the bodies of the recently deceased. What starts as a small-scale experiment with a dead scientist quickly escalates into a full-scale invasion as Earth's graveyards become recruiting grounds for an army of alien-possessed zombies. The plot follows Dr. Adam Penner, a pacifist scientist who is informed of the invasion by his late colleague, Dr. Carol Neumann. At first skeptical, Dr. Penner becomes a believer when he sees firsthand the destruction that these invisible invaders can cause. With his daughter Phyllis and an Army Major, Bruce J., he scrambles to develop a weapon against these otherworldly forces. Although the film was made on a modest budget, Kahn makes the most of it with atmospheric tension, minimalist special effects, and eerie scenes of the undead wreaking havoc. Fans of early sci-fi and zombie films will appreciate Invisible Invaders as a surprising precursor to later zombie cinema. It's the kind of movie that takes you back to a time when the only way to handle an alien invasion was with a bit of grit, some well-timed stock footage, and a whole lot of imagination. Night of the Blood Beast, 1958.
What are they?
The amorphic cell structures have expanded to...
They're using his body for a breeding ground.
This is a classic sci-fi horror flick that melds space exploration with eerie alien encounters. Directed by Bernard L. Kowalski, the film kicks off when astronaut John Corcoran crashes back to Earth during a test flight. Presumed dead, John's body is taken to a remote laboratory for examination. Things take a strange turn when he unexpectedly revives, showing odd symptoms like low body temperature and peculiar behavior that would make anyone's skin crawl. As the small team of scientists investigates, they discover that John's not alone. He's become a host for an alien life form intent on reproducing. To add to the tension, the alien isn't shy about making its presence known, leading to a claustrophobic showdown inside the isolated lab. The team grapples with a moral dilemma. Do they save their friend or prevent an extraterrestrial threat from spreading? The movie is a snapshot of 1950 sci-fi, complete with suspenseful music, and special effects that might seem quaint by today's standards, but add to its nostalgic appeal. The Blood Beast itself might not win any beauty contests, but it brings a certain campy joy that's hard to resist. If you're in the mood for a film that combines space-age thrills with a touch of monster mayhem, then Night of the Blood Beast offers a delightful trip down memory lane. After all, who needs CGI when you have imagination and a rubber suit? Before I get to the next movie, as most of you know, I'm just one guy, 70 years young, putting this all together with a lot of love for classic TV, movies, and cartoons from back in the day. If you enjoy these trips down memory lane, I'd be thrilled if you hit that subscribe button, or even consider becoming a channel member. It's a simple way to keep this passion project going strong, and it means the world to me. Thanks for being a part of this journey. Now, back to the show. The Atomic Submarine, 1959. In a fascinating mix of underwater adventure and Cold War-era sci-fi suspense, the film opens with mysterious incidents in the Arctic Sea. Ships are vanishing without a trace, sparking international panic. In response, the U.S. Navy deploys the USS Tiger Shark, an atomic-powered submarine with cutting-edge technology, to investigate. Commanded by Dan Wendover and supported by Lieutenant Commander Reef Holloway, the crew embarks on a journey that turns into a showdown with an extraterrestrial threat. They soon discover an unidentified submerged object, a saucer-like craft they nickname Cyclops due to its eerie, single glowing light. This UFO isn't just mechanical, but a living organism piloted by a telepathic, octopus-like alien. Its mission? To study humanity, return home, and ultimately colonize Earth. With limited options, the crew risks everything, from ramming the saucer to engineering a last resort guided missile. The final confrontation delivers 1950s sci-fi thrills, balancing tension with low-budget charisma. It's a film that captures Cold War anxieties in a tale of courage beneath the waves, adding a dose of underwater suspense to the alien invasion genre. Battle in Outer Space, 1959. This one is a Japanese sci-fi classic that captures the era's fascination with interplanetary warfare. Set in the near future of 1965, Earth faces bizarre attacks from an unknown alien force. Massive objects are mysteriously lifted, oceans turn turbulent, and Earth's space station is obliterated. At an international conference in Japan, scientists determined these events are caused by beings from planet Natal, who intend to make Earth a colony. The UN prepares a counterstrike, launching 2 SPIP rocket ships on a daring mission to the moon, where they suspect that the alien base is located. The journey is perilous, with the Natal aliens attacking the ships with remote-controlled meteors. Upon arrival, the astronauts discover a lunar base, leading to a climatic battle involving futuristic weaponry, powerful heat rays, and moon rovers. One of the crew, under alien mind control, sacrifices himself to ensure his team's escape. This film, featuring groundbreaking effects by Eiji Tsuburaya, embodies Cold War anxieties and celebrates human resilience against overwhelming odds. With its imaginative designs and battle scenes, Battle in Outer Space remains a nostalgic favorite for sci-fi fans, showcasing Japan's influence on the genre's development. The Mysterions, 1957.
We are counting on your common sense and looking forward to a reasonable resolution.
This is yet another Japanese sci-fi adventure directed by Ishiro Honda, the mastermind behind Godzilla. The film kicks off with mysterious disasters near Mount Fuji, prompting an investigation led by astrophysicist Ryoichi Shiraishi and his friends. They soon encounter a highly advanced alien race, the Mysterions, who reveal they've come from a destroyed planet and now need a new home and human brides to ensure their species' survival. The film's Earthlings don't take kindly to these cosmic suitors, leading to an epic showdown between human military forces and the technologically superior Mysterions. Packed with futuristic weaponry, robot fighters, and impressive miniatures, the special effects, crafted by Eiji Tsuburaya, bring an extra layer of spectacle to the interplanetary conflict. With a plot that blends social themes and thrilling action, the Mysterions capture both the post-war fascination with space and Japan's emerging entrance into the sci-fi genre. It's a film that feels both grand and nostalgic, transporting viewers to a time when aliens with big helmets and Earthlings with bigger attitudes fought for the fate of the planet. Target Earth, 1954.
Back to the stairs, quick!
Target Earth is a chilling sci-fi tale that plays on the isolation and paranoia of a city seemingly abandoned overnight. Directed by Sherman A. Rose, the film begins with Nora King waking up in an empty metropolis with no electricity or water. She soon encounters Frank Brooks, another stranded survivor, and together they join a small group of others left behind during a mass evacuation. As they roam the eerily quiet streets, they learn the truth. An invasion of robotic beings from Venus is underway. Armed with powerful death rays, these robots systematically take over the city, killing anyone in their path. Things get even tenser when a disturbed man named Davis joins the group, creating a new internal threat among the survivors. Meanwhile, the military races to stop the alien forces, even considering atomic weapons as a last resort. Despite its limited budget, only one robot was built to depict the Army. Target Earth delivers an atmosphere of suspense and unease, and for fans of 1950s sci-fi, captures the period's fascination with alien threats. Spacemaster X7, 1958. Spacemaster X7 is a unique sci-fi thriller that combines space exploration with a strange, relentless threat. Directed by Edward Burns, the story centers on a mysterious fungus brought back to Earth by a space probe. Things go wrong fast when this alien fungus, dubbed space rust, is accidentally mixed with human blood, causing it to grow uncontrollably. As it spreads, it threatens to engulf everything in its path. In the plot's twist, Laura Greeling becomes unknowingly exposed to the fungus and goes on the run, leaving a trail of contamination wherever she goes. Meanwhile, a government scientist, Dr. Charles Palmer, races against time to find a way to stop the deadly growth before it becomes unstoppable. The chase adds tension as authorities attempt to track her down while battling the expanding menace. While modestly budgeted, Spacemaster X7 delivers tension and suspense with its invasion of an unusual faceless enemy. It's a film that creatively taps into the era's anxieties about biological threats and intense interest in space exploration. The Cosmic Man, 1959.
Stop. One more move and I'll fire.
This is a thought-provoking science fiction film directed by Herbert S. Green that explores humanity's reaction to an alien visitor. The story unfolds when a UFO, appearing as a mysterious white sphere, lands in Stone Canyon, California. Military personnel, led by Colonel Matthews, and scientists, including Dr. Carl Sorensen, investigate the object, which hovers above the ground, seemingly immovable. One night, a translucent figure emerges from the sphere and, without malice, reveals a message of peace and unity for Earth. However, the military, viewing the alien as a potential threat, attempts to capture it. Meanwhile, a disguised Cosmic Man befriends Ken, the wheelchair-bound son of a local widow, and even learns chess from him. In a dramatic finale, the Cosmic Man sacrifices himself to avoid conflict, but not before healing Ken, allowing him to walk again. Despite its low budget, The Cosmic Man addresses Cold War fears and urges viewers to consider coexistence. Its peaceful alien visitor reflects a hopeful view of humanity's future in space, making it a meaningful entry in 1950s sci-fi cinema. Phantom from Space, 1953.
I hadn't seen this with my own eyes. What do we do now? Stand back.
This sci-fi mystery, directed by W. Lee Wilder, brings a suspenseful twist to the era's fascination with extraterrestrial encounters. The story begins when a UFO crashes in the San Fernando Valley, causing major disruptions to communications. Federal Communications Commission investigators drawn to the crash site discover reports of a figure in a strange glowing suit, only to realize it's an invisible alien. As the authorities scramble to track this invisible visitor, the alien's trail leads them to the Griffith Observatory, where a scientist figures out the alien can be seen under ultraviolet light. Trapped and low on breathable gas, the alien tries to communicate but fails, ultimately falling to its death, evaporating in its final moments. Though made on a small budget, Phantom from Space leans into atmospheric tension and the novelty of an invisible alien antagonist. It's a somber tale of an alien lost in a foreign world, a unique entry in 1950s sci-fi. Invasion of the Animal People, 1959. Also known as Terror in the Midnight Sun, Invasion of the Animal People is a Swedish-American sci-fi film directed by Virgil W. Vogel. The story begins with American Olympic skater Diane Wilson visiting her geologist uncle in Sweden. Their peaceful outing is interrupted by reports of a meteorite crash in Lapland, which turns out to be a UFO carrying mysterious alien visitors. Soon, a towering, hairy creature, controlled by the aliens, emerges, terrorizing the local Laplanders and wrecking everything in sight. Diane, along with her uncle and his colleague, Dr. Engstrom, finds herself in a tense battle for survival as the beast chases her across the snowy terrain. Captured but spared by the monster's unexpected kindness, she narrowly escapes as villagers arrive, torches in hand, to confront the creature. In a fiery climax, the beast is driven off a cliff, and the aliens quietly depart, leaving the humans to return to their normal lives. With its blend of romance, adventure, and classic creature features, Invasion of the Animal People is a unique sci-fi film that delivers Swedish landscapes and 1950s monster movie thrills. Stranger from Venus, 1954.
500 feet.
We've no right to gamble with other people's lives. Don't throw that switch.
Stay where you are, or I'll be forced 250 feet.
Directed by Burt Balaban, Stranger from Venus is a British sci-fi film that echoes the themes of The Day the Earth Stood Still. The story begins when a mysterious man arrives in the British countryside after a UFO sighting. When he enters a nearby inn, he heals a severely injured local woman, Susan North, with seemingly supernatural abilities, and announces his origin. He's from Venus. The alien visitor's mission is simple yet urgent. He's come to warn humanity about the catastrophic risks of nuclear weapons, which could destabilize not only Earth, but the entire solar system. Despite his peaceful intentions, British government officials see an opportunity to capture his advanced technology for military advantage. As they close in, the alien realizes humanity isn't ready for the knowledge he offers, nor is it prepared to hear his dire warnings. It's a story that suggests perhaps, just maybe, we're not alone, and not as advanced as we'd like to believe. The Strange World of Planet X, 1958. The Strange World of Planet X, also known in the US as Cosmic Monsters, is a British sci-fi horror film directed by Gilbert Gunn. Set in the English countryside, the film follows physicist Dr. Laird, who is conducting dangerous magnetic field experiments that disrupt Earth's protective atmosphere. His experiments cause cosmic rays to penetrate the atmosphere, triggering strange weather and mutating local insects into giant, deadly creatures. An American scientist, Gil Graham, and computer expert, Michel Dupont, try to stop Dr. Laird as his experiments escalate. Meanwhile, a mysterious Mr. Smith, who turns out to be an alien from Planet X, arrives to warn humanity of the potentially catastrophic effects of Laird's work, which threaten even his own distant world. As mutated monsters wreak havoc, the military intervenes, And Mr. Smith uses his alien technology to destroy the lab, ending the crisis. Teenagers from Outer Space, 1959.
Both of you, sit there. I shall keep you covered. Take heed. One treacherous move and they pay with their lives. Now proceed.
Let's close out this video with a little sci-fi film directed by Tom Greff, notable for its low-budget charm and unusual plot. The story begins when a flying saucer lands on Earth with an alien crew on a grim mission to determine if Earth is suitable to raise gargans, enormous lobster-like creatures used as food on their home planet. One young alien, Derek, objects when he sees a dog vaporized by his ruthless crewmate Thor, fearing for Earth's inhabitants. Derek, a member of an underground rebellion, escapes, hoping to protect humans and warn them of the impending danger. Derek befriends a young woman named Betty and her grandfather, and the two become allies in his battle against Thor and the larger invasion plan. Meanwhile, a Gargan left behind grows to monstrous proportions, creating chaos in town. In a climactic showdown, Derek and Betty race to stop the creature and warn Earth. With its minimal special effects and earnest performances, Teenagers from Outer Space is a beloved relic of 1950s sci-fi. The film's mix of alien intrigue, rebellion, and romance, complete with skeletonized victims and a giant alien pet, offers a campy, nostalgic trip for classic sci-fi fans. Well, that's going to wrap it up for today's video. There are many more titles I'd like to cover, but I'll have to save them for another video. Leave some of your suggestions for 1950s obscure alien invasion movies in the comments below. This is Rich from Rerun Zone. Good night.